In the midst of President Donald Trump's administration facing numerous legal challenges, Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, has emerged as an unexpected victor in the courtroom. While Trump's broader agenda, ranging from limiting birthright citizenship to freezing foreign aid, has been stymied by judicial roadblocks, DOGE has managed to secure significant legal wins, paving the way for Musk's ambitious crusade to streamline and downsize the federal government. The legal battles surrounding DOGE have pitted Musk and his team against labor unions, Democrats, and federal employees, who argued that the department is overstepping its authority, violating privacy protections, and encroaching on the powers of other branches of government. Despite these challenges, judges appointed by both Democratic and Republican presidents have largely sided with DOGE, allowing Musk's team to proceed with its mission to overhaul federal operations. This article delves into the legal victories DOGE has achieved, the implications of these rulings for the federal government, and the broader constitutional questions raised by Musk's unprecedented role in reshaping the executive branch. DOGE's legal victories, a pattern of success. Of the most notable legal wins for DOGE came in a case involving the Office of Personnel Management, OPM, U.S. District Judge Randolph Moss, an appointee of President Barack Obama, ruled against plaintiffs seeking to block DOGE's access to sensitive government databases. In his decision, Moss emphasized that it is not the role of federal courts to oversee the security of executive branch information systems. This ruling was a significant blow to critics of DOGE, who had argued that Musk's team posed a threat to the privacy and integrity of federal data. Moss's decision underscored the judiciary's reluctance to interfere with the executive branch's internal operations, even in the face of concerns about overreach. Similarly, U.S. District Judge John Bates, appointed by President George W. Bush, declined to block DOGE's involvement in several key agencies, including the Department of Labor, the Department of Health and Human Services, and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. While Bates acknowledged serious concerns about privacy issues, he concluded that the evidence presented did not justify a court-ordered injunction. These rulings have allowed DOGE to continue its work unimpeded, granting Musk's team access to the data and systems necessary to implement its sweeping reforms. The Deferred Resignation Program, a controversial win. Another major victory for DOGE came in Boston, where U.S. District Judge George O'Toole Jr. allowed the administration to move forward with its Deferred Resignation Program. Commonly referred to as a buyout, the program enables federal employees to resign while continuing to receive pay until September 30th. The program was challenged by a coalition of labor unions, which argued that it violated workers' rights and undermined the stability of the federal workforce. However, O'Toole ruled against the unions on technical grounds, stating that they lacked standing to sue. This decision was a significant win for the Trump administration and DOGE, as it allowed them to proceed with their efforts to reduce the size of the federal workforce. Critics, however, argue that the program could lead to a brain drain, with experienced employees leaving their posts and taking their institutional knowledge with them. The Treasury Department exception. While DOGE has enjoyed a string of legal victories, it has not been entirely immune to setbacks. 2 lawsuits involving the Treasury Department systems have resulted in restrictions on DOGE's access. These systems are used to distribute trillions of dollars in federal funds and contain highly sensitive information, including bank accounts and social security numbers. In Washington, a judge limited DOGE's access to just 2 staff members, while a judge in New York temporarily blocked the department altogether. These rulings highlight the judiciary's willingness to intervene when it comes to protecting sensitive financial data and maintaining the integrity of nonpartisan systems. Constitutional questions and legal challenges. The legal battles surrounding DOGE have raised important constitutional questions about the limits of executive power and the role of unelected officials in shaping government policy. Critics argue that Musk and his team are exercising powers that should belong only to those elected by voters or confirmed by the Senate. A lawyer who represented House Democrats during the first impeachment of Trump has been particularly vocal in his criticism of DOGE. Eisen is currently representing current and former employees of the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, which was shut down by Musk and Trump. In his lawsuit, Eisen alleges that DOGE is usurping powers that are not constitutionally granted to it. These are not minor peccadillos, Eisen said. These are some of the most fundamental issues that our Constitution and laws address. John Yoo, a law professor at the University of California, Berkeley, offers a different perspective. He argues that the administration's legal strategy has been successful because it frames Musk as a presidential advisor without independent authority. This approach, Yoo says, echoes a legal battle from the 1990s when Hillary Clinton chaired a healthcare task force as First Lady. In that case, a federal appeals court ruled that the task force did not need to comply with rules on open meetings. That's how they're winning the lawsuits, Yoo said. They're trying to stay on the side of the line that the DC Circuit has drawn. Skepticism from the bench. Despite DOGE's successes, some judges have expressed skepticism about the department's actions. U.S. District Judge Deborah Boardman, appointed by President Joe Biden, recently heard arguments in a case challenging DOGE's access to personal information collected by the federal government. While she did not issue a decision, Boardman pressed administration lawyers on why DOGE representatives need to know everything. Emily Hall of the Justice Department responded that DOGE was tasked with making broad sweeping reforms that require such access. Boardman, however, found this answer to be pretty vague, suggesting that the administration may face tougher scrutiny in future cases. Similarly, U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan, another Obama appointee, expressed concern about Musk's apparent unchecked authority in a case involving federal data and worker layoffs. Although Chutkan did not issue a temporary restraining order sought by Democratic attorneys general from 14 states, she indicated that they could still make a strong argument that Musk and DOGE violated the Constitution as the case progresses. The broader implications, the legal victories secured by DOGE, have significant implications for the future of the federal government. If Musk's opponents continue to struggle in court, he could be largely unencumbered in his efforts to downsize the federal workforce and overhaul government operations. Harrison Fields, the White House Deputy Press Secretary, has framed these victories as a validation of the Trump administration's approach. The continued successes in the courts in favor of the Trump administration shouldn't be a surprise to anyone who has ever read our great Constitution, Fields said in a statement. The resistance campaign can try, but they will continue to fail in their pursuit to rewrite the Constitution and deny the people the legal authority of the president to run the executive branch. However, critics warn that the unchecked expansion of DOGE's powers could have long-term consequences for the balance of power within the federal government. Sky Perryman, the leader of Democracy Forward, an advocacy group organizing lawsuits against the Trump administration, has vowed to continue the legal fight. We have seen no federal judge consider DOGE's actions and endorse them, Perryman said. Conclusion: as Elon Musk's DOGE continues to notch legal victories, the department's influence over the federal government grows. While these wins have allowed Musk to advance his agenda of streamlining and downsizing the federal workforce, they have also raised important questions about the limits of executive power and the role of unelected officials in shaping government policy. The legal battles surrounding DOGE are far from over, and future rulings could either solidify its position or reignite the debate over its authority. For now, however, Musk's crusade to slash the federal government remains on track, thanks in large part to the judiciary's reluctance to stand in his way.